Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is January 21st, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery with the Doppler radar overlays here. And you can see some of the precipitation from this last storm that moved through yesterday. It brought some rounds of thunderstorms, especially across some of central and northern California, is now pushing off to the east, but you can see it is bringing some nice rainfall across the Las Vegas area, some of northwest Arizona, and you can see that precipitation kicking across much of the state of Arizona as well, hopefully helping out some of the drought-stricken regions out there, maybe continuing to feed some water into Lake Mead also. And if we look out across the Pacific here, you can see the next storm is already on its way. You can see the precipitation already starting to show up on the radar there across northern California, and this system is going to pack quite a punch here for some areas of the state. Still some hit and miss nature of the precipitation with this system, but it's showing some pretty big amounts across some of Los Angeles, San Diego as well. There's a pretty fine line though where the heaviest precipitation is going to be. We'll look at that information in some detail here as we go through the video. We'll also take a look at the extended forecast as models continue to point at a potentially active period as we go towards the end of the month on in through early February. And taking a look at the 24-hour precipitation totals here across some northern California, look at all these red dots here up over 3 inches. Some areas, one has up over 7. So you can see in a lot of areas, you're up over an inch here in a 24-hour period. And as we look a little bit further south, you can see the Bay Area might have got cheated a little bit here, but surrounding areas got pretty good amounts, including some of the suburbs of Sacramento up towards an inch here. And of course, higher across the Sierra Nevada. And if you go down the coastline there out of San Jose, some pretty big amounts up over an inch and a half in some areas. And looking across some of Southern California, check out Santa Barbara. Looks like it got about an inch here as well, and some bigger amounts showing up here. Some of the areas out towards Anaheim and Santa Ana actually got up over an inch also. So yeah, good stuff there, and definitely more incoming here with the next storm system that we're going to look at here in some detail. And this is looking at what happened yesterday. So I want to slowly scroll through this here, and if I go on in, you can see some of the lightning activity here across some of the valley areas, and look at near Sacramento. And each one of these blurbs that you see here is going to be definitely more than one strike. There was quite a bit of lightning activity going on here. And as we scroll through, you can see down closer towards Stockton off to the east of San Jose there as well. And we continue on in through, and there's some more activity across some of the foothills. If we scroll far enough in here into this morning, we're going to take a look at the next storm as well. You can see it out here, and you can see it's got some lightning activity associated with it as well. And that's going to bring some thunderstorm activity all the way down across Southern California. You can see the strong jet stream out here racing towards the state as we speak. And this is where we stand right now. So we are going to have a thunderstorm threat here over the next couple of days as well. Now, taking a look at the Sierra snowfall forecast, we did have some pass closures out there, and there was pretty good compact snow and ice across some I-80 at times. I think the snow level came in a little bit lower than what was forecast, and you could see 5,000 to 6,000 yesterday. We were talking about 6,500 and above here. So this is Sunday through Monday here, and yeah, check before you go, especially if you're crossing the passes. And this is a great website to do so. This is Caltrans. You can see where chain controls are going on. You can zoom in on this map, and you can see that across some I-80 here or Highway 49, and you could scroll down a little bit further here towards Mammoth Lakes and kind of see that there are chain controls out there. And check this out. If you go down towards Big Bear Lake, you can see the chain controls going on there as well. So great website there, Caltrans. And we do have some gusty winds also with the arrival of this next system. Minor impacts, but you can see it here. Maybe gusting 35 for Sacramento, or actually San Francisco. Sacramento towards 30 as well. And higher gusts towards the coastal areas and some of the higher terrain. And this is for Sunday, January 21st. There's also some wind advisories down the coast, even towards Southern California also coming up. But I wanted to point out that we do have this flood watch here, mainly Bay Area northbound. You can see it does include some of the I-5 corridor. And this coastal flood advisory here kind of correlates with the morning high tide cycles today and Monday. Now, looking at the rain returning to some of the desert southwest here, again, bringing some beneficial rain as we speak across portions of southern Nevada and Arizona. And this is going to continue on in through Monday and Tuesday here. The exact timing and some of the amounts, of course, as always, are going to be subject to change, but a pretty good slug of moisture moving in. And if you want a nice, affordable home weather station, this station can tell you exactly when the rain starts. Got an ultrasonic anemometer. It hooks up to your home's Wi-Fi, then you never have to worry about it again. I find myself checking my smartphone smartphone for this station versus my more expensive professional equipment quite a bit. And you can see what you would see on your smartphone app here as well. Tons of data that it stores for you in the cloud. Very fun. Now, looking at the NAM3KM, I put this into motion, and you can see the precipitation moving out as we speak, as we go through the day today. But the next storm system, again, hot on its heels, moving towards the Bay Area. Look at some of this heavy rain just north of San Francisco. Might be including some of San Francisco here as well. Again, another round here for some of Sacramento, some of the Sierra Nevada. Big precipitation amounts incoming. And look across Southern California, some pretty heavy rain. It looks to be moving in. It's targeting down towards some of the San Diego metro, maybe including Oceanside. And this is just 6-hour precipitation totals approaching 1 to 2 inches during that 6-hour period before that storm starts to roll out as we go on in through Tuesday morning here. So pretty dynamic storm incoming. And stay with me as we go through the video because we got some fun stuff through the extended as well. And we also have another system here coming midweek. It's probably going to affect mainly Point Conception north across California. And looking at some of the wind speeds, this is 80-meter wind speed, and just showing this because we do have the wind advisories across some of Southern California for some gusty southerly winds and up the coastal areas here also. And we can kind of see this wind going on as we go through the day today. And as we go on into tonight, you can see some of that wind increasing, some of the southerly winds, especially across the higher terrain here in the Sierra Nevada and off through Nevada and the coastal areas. And then as we push through, now we're going through Monday, and you can kind of see the spin of the low pressure center there. And as that low starts to pivot through, look at some of the bigger gusts coming across some of the higher terrain, and the northwest winds return. Some gusty westerly winds across the higher terrain also as that storm system pivots on through the day Tuesday, and then our next storm system starts to make its way. Now, looking at total snow could share ratio in inches, again, mainly across the higher terrains here, but you can see some of that snow piling up towards Big Bear Lake out there in some cases, especially across the higher peaks. And as we go through the day Monday, you can see that additional round of precipitation. Probably not the best day to be traveling back and forth across the Sierra Nevadas. If you can avoid it, let those snow plows get out there and try to hold your travel off for another day or so as we go on in through Tuesday. And you can see some nice snowfall amounts for the higher terrain of Nevada as well, and even northern Arizona. Now, looking at lightning flash density potential, just kind of showing you here as we go through the morning Monday and late morning and then afternoon hours, we do have that thunderstorm potential. Not a widespread lightning maker here, but you cannot rule out a few thunderstorms with this activity as we go on in through Monday. Now, looking at something interesting here, this is the National Blend of Models. This also shows thunder potential as well. And if we scroll through here, you can kind of see how it highlights kind of the similar areas, kind of targeting Southern California as we go through the day tomorrow, Monday. Now, looking at the excessive rainfall outlook, this is for today. Again, that storm system just now making its way towards Northern California. We do have that slight risk here for some flash flooding conditions across Northern California. This would go through Sunday morning. This will be for tomorrow as we start to target Southern California. You can kind of see that cutoff right across the Los Angeles metro here, and including much of the San Diego metro. And then day 3, you can see that pushing off across portions of Arizona. Now, let's take a look at the extended forecast here because things continue to look interesting through the extended. It's no guarantee of anything, but it kind of is in line with what El Nino can bring during the month of February. And I want to show you that here in a moment. You can see our system going through the day tomorrow here. Then we get the midweek storm system there passing through. Then we try to build some ridging here for a few days. We'll see how long this lasts, but you can see the European continues to show some powerful systems targeting California, powerful jet stream extended all the way across the Pacific Ocean as we go towards the end of January on in through early February. This would bring some very interesting storm systems here. You'd be talking about some atmospheric river potential and some very heavy rainfall here across much of the state and much of the Southwest here. So we're going to be watching that one closely day by day. And you can see as we scroll towards the end of the run as well, that kind of continues that strong jet stream pointed somewhere at the West Coast, kind of favoring areas down towards California. But again, it's way out there in the forecast, and I don't want to get anybody too excited just yet, kind of trusting you guys here because we're looking out towards 180 plus hours at that time frame, and things can still change. But looking at the European versus itself, this is yesterday afternoon's run here versus yesterday morning's, and you can see the system moving through, and then our big slug of moisture comes in with our pretty dynamic storm system as we go through the day tomorrow. You can see the European kind of uptrended some of this precipitation, especially across the Sierra Nevada and Southern California. Then that system finally makes its way on through on the day Tuesday, and then we bring our next system in here also, and you can see it's bringing precip a little bit further south towards Point Conception as well, so uptrended with that one a little bit bit here also. Then we build this ridging for a bit. We throw some atmospheric river activity potentially into the Pacific Northwest, kind of clipping Northwest California. We get a little bit of a break here, but then that active storm pattern would return. Look at some of these systems that have been showing up in the European model. I mean, look at some of the rainfall amounts that would bring. And look at this frontal system on yesterday morning's European model run here, just swooping down the entire state with very heavy rain. But you can kind of see that active pattern that continues to show up in the European model here, bringing storm systems back into California. Now let's look at the GFS here as well. This one is hot off the presses. So here we go with our system as we go through Monday into Tuesday here. Then this next system's going to take a swing at California as well, mainly again Point Conception north. Then we build the ridging for a few days. We get a little bit of a break as Pacific Northwest kind of gets targeted there. And then through the extended forecast, does it show what the European is? It does start to show that. You can see kind of the Gulf of Alaska low getting rolling there, and the powerful jet stream pointed at California, similar time frame there. So we've got some model agreement with that as well. So we will continue to watch it, because you can see these would be some very interesting systems rolling in through, but it is still a fantasy forecast. If we come into the next couple days and it takes us away, I would not be surprised. That's the name of the game here when you start looking too far out into the extended forecast. But the Climate Prediction Center here, as we go through January 28th through February 3rd, is starting to pick up on that signal as well. As you can see, above average precipitation potential and above average temperatures would accompany that with kind of that west and southwest flow, El Nino-ish pattern. This is looking at, I wanted to show you this real quick here. This is Southern California. This is what we can expect as we go with the next system. And you can see some of these robust precipitation amounts moving across the area. Look at Oceanside, 1.7, Los Angeles, 1.3, Oxnard, 1.4. And again, another round of precipitation. This will be coming after what's going on across some of southern Nevada right now. So definitely beneficial rainfall. Look at Bullhead City, an inch, Lake Havasu, an inch there also. It's very nice across much of Southern California with this next storm system. And here we go with Northern California. I mean, it's not been bad here across some of Northern California. I mean, you guys are getting some pretty consistent systems moving through here. Then we go through the midweek and we get another one coming up there. And then we're going to get a bit of a break, like I mentioned, with that ridging. What comes after that is still kind of that fantasy forecast through the extended, but we'll continue to break it down day by day. And one more look here at total snow on the national blended models here. As we go through tonight, you'll see that snow start to pile up again with the arrival of that next storm system here. So again, if you can put off your travel to Tuesday, it's probably best, but then we get a little bit of additional snow here as we go through the day Wednesday also. We need it. We're behind snow water equivalent wise across much of the higher terrain of California, so keep rooting for that snow to come in there. And if we look at the avalanche.org here, if you click on these individual locations, I've been mentioning this, check this before you go off into the backcountry here, because you can see I've clicked on right here off to the east of Sacramento, and it talks about the Central Sierra Nevada Avalanche Watch here, and it gives all kinds of good information there. So check that out before you go. And one more look at things here as we look at the extended European model. And there goes that ridging that's likely to be coming here as we go towards the end of the week. But you can see that jet extension like a snake just moving across the Pacific Ocean could be bringing some very dynamic systems towards the state of California. And you can kind of see that El Nino signature with the strong jet stream with the very warm water there across some of the equatorial Pacific. El Nino is not dead yet, folks. And the models are hinting at its return as we go towards the early portion of February. But again, there's that caveat where it can be taken away pretty quickly here. So it is a fantasy forecast. It's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind as we go through the extended forecast as I continue to scroll back and forth here. This would be about a full 9 days out at this point, but you can see it does show that jet stream, and you can kind of see how the experimental product picks up on that area or that time frame as well for a slight risk of heavy precipitation. But yeah, anyway, enjoy these storms as they're rolling through. I mean, this is beneficial rainfall across much of the area. You know, there is that flood watch out there, but for the most part, it's not been that dynamic as far as causing damaging flooding or anything. So these are very beneficial systems across much of the Southwest. But anyway, we'll continue to watch these systems roll in. I hope you guys are prepared for this next storm. You can see it's on its way as we speak. We'll do this again tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you guys then.